So you're in a conversation, and someone asks you what you do for fun. It's probably one of the most common questions you'll ever get. Well, in this explainer, we're going to make sure you have all the words, all the grammar you need to talk about your hobbies like a total natural.
See, this question right here, it looks so simple, doesn't it? But it's actually the key to connecting with people. And today, we are going to break down exactly how to ask it, how to recognize it, and, most importantly, how to answer it with confidence. All right, first things first. Before we can talk about our hobbies, we kind of need to know what is a hobby exactly. Let's start with the absolute basics.
A hobby is basically something you do regularly in your spare time just for pleasure. And I love this little connection here. Think of the word hobby as being like a fun habit. The other super important part, you don't get paid for it. This is all about you and what you enjoy.
Okay, now here's a question that, once you know the answer, will make your English sound so much more precise. People often mix these two words up, but there's a really useful difference between them. You ready?
And here it is. A hobby is an active and regular thing you do. Like if your hobby is collecting comic books, you're out there buying them, organizing them. You're doing something. An interest, on the other hand, is more of a general liking. You could be interested in the theater, but maybe you only go once a year. So remember, a hobby is about doing, and an interest is more about liking.
All right, now that we've got the definitions down, let's get into the fun part. Let's explore some different types of hobbies and get some ideas flowing. First up, we've got your creative and collecting hobbies. This is all about making things or gathering things you love. You can collect anything: books, art, music, you name it. And yeah, things like reading and writing can totally be hobbies, as long as you're doing them for pure fun and not because you have to.
Next, let's talk about the playing category. This covers everything from playing sports like soccer to playing cards with friends or even classic board games like chess. Now, here's a modern tip. Gaming pretty much always means electronic or video games these days. So you can play board games, but you usually just say you enjoy gaming. And of course, there are the hobbies that get you out of the house. Now, one thing to know is that traveling usually means going outside your own city, to another town or another country. Other great hobbies are just about going to a place, like going to the movies every weekend. The trip itself is the hobby.
Okay, so we've got plenty of ideas for hobbies, but now we need the words to talk about when we actually do them. Let's look at some key phrases for talking about your free time. These three are golden. Downtime is just your general relaxing time when you're not working. Spare time is more about those little bits of extra time you have in a day, maybe an hour here or there. And time off is for a longer break, like a whole weekend or your vacation. That's the one you use for a hobby like traveling. All right, this is it. This is the moment we've been building up to. We've got the words for hobbies, we've got the words for free time. So now let's put it all together and figure out how to ask and answer. Make sure you're listening for questions like these. You'll notice they use the exact phrases we just learned. What do you do in your downtime? Or what do you do with your spare time? Just being able to recognize these questions is half the battle.
So someone asked you one of those questions. What do you say? Well, believe it or not, there's a really simple grammar rule that will make your answer sound perfect every single time. Here is the golden rule. You basically have two main choices. If you use the word enjoy, the very next verb has to end in ing. So you'd say, I enjoy traveling. But if you use the phrase like to, you just use this simple normal verb, I like to travel. See that? Same meaning, just a tiny change in grammar.
Let's lock this in with an example. You say the word enjoy, so the verb right after it is playing, with that ing on the end. I enjoy playing sports. Perfect. And here's the other way to say the exact same thing. This time you're using like to, so the verb stays in its simple base form, play. I like to play sports. Once you get the hang of this, you're going to sound so natural. So let's just boil this all down into a super simple two-step guide. Step 1, pick your phrase. Are you going to say I enjoy or I like to? Step 2, just use the correct verb form that goes with it. That's it. You're all set for your next conversation. And that brings us right back to where we started, but this time you have all the tools you need. So I'm going to ask you again, what do you do for fun? Go on, try saying it out loud right now using one of those two formulas we just mastered. Give it a shot.